Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rechakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim and her pushing his gospel and truth and his sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Lord willing, fall upon your houses. So Brother Quad Awath coming back at you, Lord will, with the edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, Lord will. It is edifying, Lord will, it is straight to the point. As you see right here, I have a brother's testimony pulled up. We're just gonna, it's the brother right here, man. You can go and subscribe. I'm only gonna play about a couple minutes of it, the first 2 minutes, and then we'll ultimately grab some presets. But as you see right here, it's GMS, Great Waters, Buffalo, New York, Zion, right? Beautiful brother through the spirit, man. Go and subscribe and, watch this, testimony, beautiful testimony, right? But through the spirit, we'll extrapolate some things. So I'll go ahead and play this video.
All right, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekaha Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. And I want to give a special peace and blessings and salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, I'm the brother Zion, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to feed the sheep and the lambs of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And I just want to give this testimony, Lord willing, it could be edifying and motivational to brothers that, are constantly pushing the truth, and doing the work in truth and sincerity and pushing the right doctrine, Now, I was at work, I want to say 2 days ago, and there was a dude, I was just sitting there, because I do security. So I was just sitting there and I was, on my phone or whatever, looking at whatever I was looking at. And this dude came up to me. I put my head up, and the dude was like, yo, what's up? He was like, I seen you on YouTube. And when he said that, I automatically knew that, he was talking about me teaching. And I was like, word, that's what's up, man. And he was like, yeah, I'll be seeing y'all brothers out there. And, I like what y'all be doing or whatever. And then he mentioned the other brother in the camp, Yeshaya. He said he sees Yeshaya a lot. Now, everybody in our camp, we live in Niagara Falls, New York, but we go out and teach in Buffalo, which is about 25 minutes away from Niagara Falls. All right, because we basically shook the dust off Niagara Falls years ago. So we go to Buffalo now. The Buffalo.
And that's all I really wanted to play with, with that. Just ultimately, pointing out the fact that there was a dude that came up, and recognized, who this brother is, right, and what he does. And through the spirit, I extrapolated that, hey, here soon, right, we're going to see a lot more people, start to, recognize who we are and what we do, right? And not everybody is ultimately going to be, right, in the same spirit that dude was in, man. Right, he was ultimately, in the good spirits, man. He didn't come up in a malicious way or with a malicious intent. We just kind of just, as you can, see through the spirit, right? This brother's talking about him, ultimately making mention that he came up, man, and, was ultimately commending that brother, so on and so forth, saying that he watches the other brothers. Again, not everybody's going to be in that same spirit, man. Right, soon, right? Right, people that, that come up to you, they might be someone you work with, man. It could be your boss, it could be, one of your friends, right? He might not know what you do, but he end up seeing what you do, right? And again, they might not come in that same spirit, man, right? Which is ultimately going to pave a way for you for more persecution, right? On the prophets, right? To take place, man. Again, not everybody is going, because again, more and more people, are finding out, right, who the true prophets are, man. More and more, the Lord is making it more and more clear who he's dealing with, man, right? And who he's dealing with is the elder apostles of the Great Millstone on down, right, to those that have come up and entered into their labors, man, right? The elder bishops, the elders, right? The Akim that are pushing this gospel and truth and its sincerity today, those are the true prophets, man, preaching this word, telling you what the MO to the TB truly is, right? Prophesying of Jacob's trouble coming, right? Martial law, right? Popping out, World War III popping off, right? You don't really see too many other camps going into these prophecies, man, except for Great Millstone, right? So just speaking directly to you brothers, man, that ultimately come across this video, right? Prepare for that persecution to pop off even more, right? Because again, this is ultimately a sign, right, that here soon we're going to start to see more and more people, right, ultimately, recognize who we are, man, So I want to grab this scripture real quick. This is Luke chapter 21. We'll start at verse 7, right? We'll work our way down. Verse 12 is the point. It says, and they asked him, saying, Master, right? And this is talking about the disciples asking Yahushua, right? It says, and they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass, right? They're inquiring of the end, of this world, right? And inquiring of when the kingdom is going to come, right? And this is the KJV, right? Verse 8, it says, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them, right? Which you have plenty of these, right? These Christian pastors and so on and so forth, right? You even got, Bishop Nate, man, putting himself on a fucking high horse, man, as if, like he did that fucking photo shoot, as if he's Yahushua, right? With fire and water in his hands, as if he's Yahushua, man, right? Acting like he's got the juice, right? He's got the, he's got the truth, right? When it's Yahushua, Yahushua is the truth, man. He said, I am the way, the life, and the truth, man. So if you don't have Yahushua, you're not glorifying Yahushua, right? Which we know that IUIC, Bishop Nate, he knows the names, but they don't teach the names, So they don't have Yahushua, man, So he can't be, the anointed, man. But nonetheless, continuing on, verse 9, it says, but when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, right, which we see now, right? You got Russia at war with Ukraine, and America and China about to go to war, right? North Korea has been talking about, invasion on U.S. soil, right? And so on and so forth, man, right? All these things, right, are ultimately popping up in these news headlines, these articles, videos, so on and so forth, right? We see these things happening, right? It says, be not terrified, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not by and by, right? Verse 10, it says, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, right? It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, which we see, right? Morocco just went through a mass earthquake, right? Where, it's like 5,000, almost 6,000 plus people, are have perished, man, over in Morocco because of that earthquake that took place, right? It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven, right? It says, but before all these, right, here's the point, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, right? And at the latter end of that verse, right, in the NLT, it says what? Because you are my followers, right, man? So because we preach Yahushua, right, we preach this gospel and prophesy, of the things that are coming, and we tell the truth, right, we're ultimately going to be hated, right? We're going to be persecuted, right? And that's by friends, families, it could be your co-workers, right? And here soon, right, you're going to see the true prophet's face be plastered all over, TV, news boards, wherever it may be, right? Because in this world, we're deemed to be terror, right? Domestic terrorists, right? Hate group, this, that, and the third, man, right? So that great persecution is coming, right? You're going to have little persecutions leading up to that great persecution, right? Which again will be what? When the men of the Lord are round up, right? They plaster their face, all these different articles and news, right? The news, these different billboards, so on and so forth, right? And eventually, snatch up the men of the Lord, man, and put them in concentration camps, right? Put them in prisons, right? This is what's coming down the pipe, man. So when that brother ultimately gave that testimony, I automatically through the Spirit was like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? This is going to happen more and more. And not everybody's going to come in that, that, oh, yeah, good job type spirit, man. A lot of people are going to be pissed about it, right? Because a lot of things that we say are contrary, right, to this world, right? They're contrary, to, Esau Edom's agenda, and his lifestyle that he ultimately tries to promote within the world, So I want to grab this. Revelations chapter 2 and verse 9. It says, it's like in verse 10, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer, right? Because we are going to suffer, man, right? Again, Esau Edom is going to throw, some of us into, these concentration camps, man, and they're going to do all manner of things, man, right? They're going to, they could waterboard you, right? They could scalp you like they did the men of the Lord in 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter, right? They scalped, some of them, right? The brothers, the 7 brothers, they could kill your family right in front of you one by one. They could do all manner of things to you, man, right? They beat you within an inch of your life and bring you back and, do it again over and over and over again, right? There's many different ways, right? We have to meditate on these things, man, so that we're prepared. But there's many different ways, right, that Esau Edom is ultimately going to persecute us, man, when dealing with that great persecution. And brothers have been persecuted now, right? Being spit on, right? Being talked about, so on and so forth. Even I know some camps, right? Some brothers, they've even gotten to fist fights with people, man, and that's persecution as well, right? But that great persecution, that last and final persecution, right, is just around the corner, man, and through the Spirit, I can feel it, man, but it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, right? And we know this word, right? Let's go into it. This word devil, right, is dealing with the man, right? Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, right? Let's grab that Strong's G 1228, right? Diablos, right? When you go down to the very bottom, or right here in the outline of biblical usage on the bottom, it says metaphor applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of the Most High, which we know Esau Edom, right? He's contrary to the Most High, man, right? He wants to be the Most High, It says, by opposing the cause of the Most High may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him, right? And we understand that's Esau Edom, right? The self-proclaimed so-called white man today. He is the devil, man, And we understand as we're reading this passage, right, this precept, that he's going to come down, right, declare martial law, round up those who are really against his society, those who he deemed to be domestic terrorists or hate groups, right, which again, we are listed under that, those categories, he's going to round us up, throw us in FEMA camps and do all manner of evil to us, man, but as it says, fear none of those things, man, it says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, right? Because it's going to be a test of our faith, man. Going to be a test of our faith, It says, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, which the number of 10 is the number of completion, right? Could be actually 10 days. It could be, 2 days, right? It could be 2 months, right? It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. That's right, man. And really, these situations that we're coming across, right? We have, as it says in Romans 15:4, right? The things that are written aforetime are written for our learning, right? And we read about how the apostles and prophets, right, and the disciples were ultimately persecuted, man. And how that when they were being persecuted, they rejoiced, right? Let's grab that account real quick in Acts. Acts, the 5th chapter. Let's go. We'll read down. We'll start at verse. There's a lot of meat on here, man. We'll start at verse 25, right? Acts 5 and 25, and we'll jump down. It says, then came one and told them, saying, behold, the men whom ye put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people, right? So they were told not to teach Yahushua, but yet they did it anyways, right, man? You know, because the scriptures say, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men, which I think is in the same chapter. Verse 26, it says, then went the captain with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people lest they should have been stoned. Right? It says, and when they had brought them, they set them before the council, and the high priest asked them, saying, Did not we straitly command you that you should not teach in his name? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine, and intend to bring this man's blood upon us. Right? Here it is, right? Verse 29, it says, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. That's right, right? And they continued, right, to preach that word, right? So let's drop down. We'll start at verse 34. It says, then stood there up one in the council a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, had in reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space, and said unto them, ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Thaddeus, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, and all as many as obeyed him were scattered and brought to naught. Right? So he's ultimately going into these different accounts of men, right, that thought themselves to be something, preaching whatever they were preaching, right, and how they were brought down, right? Ultimately insinuating that, that Apostle Peter and the rest of the apostles, right, that Satan do, right, that they were ultimately, whatever they're preaching will ultimately come to naught, right? Verse 37 says, and after this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of taxing, and drew much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it, lest happily ye be found even to fight against the Most High. And we understand that, right? Christianity, right, is not of the Most High, and this is why people are leaving Christianity, right, and going into other religions, becoming atheists, so on and so forth. And you have, right, a small group, right, coming to this truth, right, of the nation of Israel, right. The Lord is ultimately bringing, the elect into this truth. So this truth is growing, man. It's continuing to grow. Verse 40, it says, and to him they agreed, and when they called the apostles and beaten them, right, they beat them, threatened them, beat them. It says they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahushua and let them go. It says, and they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name, right? So they looked at that beating, they looked at that suffering, right, as a plus, right? Because their faith was tested and they passed, and this is how these are accounts that we have to remember, right? These are accounts that we have to, focus on, man, when this persecution comes, because, hey, if we continue in that same spirit, right, that same faithful and obedient spirit, hey, well, guess what? We're going to receive that crown of life as we read, right? I'll read the last verse. It says, and daily in the temple and in every house they ceased not to teach and preach Yahushua HaMashiach, right? So they continued on, man. And guess what? Look where we're at now, right? This truth is exploding, right? Beginning with the elder apostles, a great millstone on down in this time, So let me grab this and we'll end out with this. It's Matthew's the 5th chapter, and we'll start at the 10th verse. It says, blessed are they which are persecuted. And this is why we're supposed to rejoice, man. Right? Because it is a blessing to be persecuted for the name of the Lord, man. It says, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, right? It says, for theirs is in the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. And this is dealing with, right, the smaller persecutions, right, of being spit on, right, having to, get in the fist fight with people because they want to test you, right? They want to press up on you. Put their hands on you, right? You got to defend yourself, right? We're not out here just fighting people, right? Just because they give us, a mean look anything like that, right? We're not, we're not out here, fighting, man, but we're not about to let people put their hands on us and get away with it, man. We got to defend ourselves, man, but yeah, man, so all the people that want to try and say whatever they want, that's a form of persecution, man, right? And that's going to start happening a lot more leading up to that major persecution, man, which is, again, when the men of the Lord are going to be, have their face plastered right all over the internet, right, all over the newspapers, billboards, so on and so forth, Esau warning the people, oh, if you see this person, call the authorities, this and the third, right? To a point where they get thrown in their camp and get tortured, man. This is what's going to happen. And again, that's a blessing to suffer, as we read, to suffer shame for the name of the Lord, man. This is why we got to rejoice in those times. Yes, it's not going to feel too good, but hey, who knows, man? The Lord can have it to where you don't feel it at all. But I'll read verse 11 again. It says, blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. Verse 12, here's the point. It says, rejoice and be exceeding glad. Right, man. So for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. That's right, man. They persecuted Yahushua and the prophets, and they're definitely going to persecute us in this time, man. The servant is not greater than his master, So it just as Yahushua went through it, man, we're going to go through it too, man. And that time is quickly approaching. I just, when I watched that brother's testimony, I kind of extrapolated that through the spirit, like, hey, we're going to start seeing this a lot more, man, So with that, Lord wills, edifying, Lord wills, straight to the point, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rachak, double honors to the elder apostles, elder bishops, great millstone. Till next time, I see Shalom.